let's give this a shot. Testing out a new camera mount and the microphone attached to the media mod for the GoPro. Hopefully it sounds good. Today we're going to get packed up and head to Cypress Creek Preserve in Land O'Lakes, so not too far, because we are going to be testing some new equipment. And we're going to try out hammock camping for the first time overnight. I've used the hammock. I love the hammock with the screen on it, and I have yet to spend a full night on any hammock, so I want to know if it's for me. I like hanging in a hammock. I love swinging, but I'm not sure if I can handle, an all night sleeping, because I'm a stomach and side sleeper. I don't ever sleep on my back, so it will be interesting if I have the ability to get a full night's rest on a hammock. If not, it's okay. We've got options. I've got multiple tents, and I've got the pad that I can put the hammock on the ground and just stretch it between trees, or even just a couple trekking poles if I need to just leave it on the ground but keep it kind of the net up off of me. So we'll be able to do that. Unfortunately, we're not going to Western North Carolina this week. I would be leaving today, but we've had to postpone that, which I'll get into later, but that's okay. It'll give us a chance to low stakes test out some equipment and some experience some different style of camping, and I'll know by the time I make the trek to North Carolina how to use this new equipment and if I enjoy hammock camping. If not, we have different ways of getting by, so that's fine. I'm looking forward to getting out in nature, even if I'm not looking forward to the temperatures in Florida this week. It's definitely going to be into the 80s or more each of the next few days. We do have the reprieve of the afternoon shower, if the weather reports are right, that hopefully will bring a little temperature relief. Often it just makes it muggier out, but if we do get a little rain in the afternoon, I'll be just as happy. If we don't, we'll do plenty of solar charging, and we'll test out the extent of the battery's ability, keeping the fridge at a proper temperature over the time. I don't expect anything too difficult or extreme, but it will be nice to use everything, give everything a once over, and get out in nature, do some hiking. I haven't fully explored Cypress Creek Preserve. I don't think there's a couple trails that I'd like to still hit, so that'll be nice to get out, stretch the legs, play with the equipment, and do a little local camping at, with the low stakes, so I don't have to worry about if things go wrong. Fingers crossed, nothing should go wrong. It'll just be hot. But we're from Florida now. We're used to it. We should be used to it anyway. Okay. Well, that won't do us any good because we are under a fire ban. But this is the furthest out from the only other campers here, so got a couple of spots. Great trees for hanging hammock. So even if I don't hammock under there, I can tarp with those trees and create a lot of shade and a little protection from the bit of rain that we'll get in the afternoons. But yeah, this will do just fine. Let's get unloaded. So these little guys let me keep the windows down and the bugs out, which helps the refrigerator not kill itself eating up battery. We're at 100 now, so if we start losing juice because it's so hot out that the refrigerator's being overactive, then we will put the solar panels out and enjoy all this beautiful sunshine, generate some power. All right, let's explore the site. Yeah, I think these first two trees are going to be my hammock trees. We're going to try out the hammock tonight, I think. I don't think we're going to do any tenting. But either way, I'm not going to put them up until I know if or when the next shower will come. If it's today, soon, then I'll wait a bit. But if it's tomorrow, oh no, we look sunny all day. Looks like it's time to put up a tarp for some shade. Okay. So we've got a very temporary setup just to give us some shade before we set up the hammock later. Definitely want to tighten the length of it, and the ends that are supported by the poles right now, they can come much lower later on. But while I'm walking around under it, it's nice to have the whole 6 foot or so clearance. So I'll just kind of leave it where it is and fix it later. But even being under the tree, it's so darn hot. It's right now 92. If my watch will come in focus. I can't tell. The little tiny bit of sun that's trickling through the trees, those beams are just putting me over the edge. So I'll continue enjoying my fan now. And I've got some cool towels that I can wrap myself with, so they're in the cooler, staying nice and 38 degrees or less. I think it's about 36 or so right now. And I might even put the solar panels out just to make sure the battery is topped off. It's still sitting at 98%, I think. Let's check on that. 96% according to the Blue Eddy app. So even though I'm putting out 50 watts to the refrigerator, the cooler, that's only 50 watt hours. So I could, out of 762, I think, watt hours in that thing, it would last a while. But with this amount of sunshine, why not just top off the battery and keep it, you know, close to 100 so that it's fine throughout the night, which the cooler will definitely do a lot less work as the temperatures come down closer to 70, I think, is our low tonight. I see only 72 as the lowest across here. So 3-4 a.m. 72 all the way to sunrise. That thing still works a little bit to keep it from 72 down to 38 or whatever. I could let it go to 45 or something, but why bother? I'd rather have it as cold as can be without freezing anything. And then if I have to keep the battery topped off, we got plenty of sunshine to do so. And I think we'll be fine for the next 3 days. It's really cool. I'll have to find my zoom lens. I don't know if I can shoot it with my phone even, but the birds out here, the hawks, the whatever, I'm sure there are eagles in the area, but they catch the heat updrafts coming off of all of the forest here and just sail. They just sit there with their wings open, spiraling upwards because of all of the heat that the ground is giving off, that's being radiated off from the sunshine. It's kind of cool watching them relax on the breeze while I'm sitting here relaxing with my artificial breeze. Can't beat that. So I like to keep everything somewhat organized even when it's out, and one way I keep the bags for everything, because everything from your tent to your sleeping bag to your table to your tarp to your poles for the tarp all have bags, and I can stuff them all in one spot or put them all back in the car. But I found that if I leave them somewhere kind of obvious, I don't have to search for them when I'm trying to pack up, because especially if it's inclement weather or something, you might be packing up in a storm in a hurry, and just pulling stuff out of the car to look for it while you're throwing stuff in can be kind of a nightmare. So what I've done or started to do is tie my little baggies onto an obvious spot. And so this is the bag for the table, this is the tarp poles, and this is the tarp. And I even clipped them on here just to kind of keep them from blowing away. Not that the breeze is that strong today, but yeah, that's helped me stay organized. And I definitely recommend finding some way, whether it's that or something that I usually gather the bags of stuff that goes in the tent, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, whatever, at one end of the tent, usually my feet or something, that I know I won't need them until I leave when I'm ready to pull stuff out of the tent. But being that I'm not going to have a tent tonight, I'm going to have to use my other solution, which is, yeah, tying it to something that's out already and kind of in my field of vision. That way I can grab it as soon as I'm ready to grab it, and it's kind of protected. The table is under the tarp, so I'm not worried about them, you know, blowing away because they're attached. I'm not worried about them getting dirty or wet because they're kind of protected. So that's one tip that I would give. Is that a good place to keep my glasses? I don't know. Kind of feels convenient, and it looks silly, which I love, but then I can feel them holding onto my head there. We'll see if I can stick with that. So why am I here? Why am I at Cypress Creek Preserve in Land O'Lakes instead of Western North Carolina? Well, I mentioned that I was heading up there, and I am still heading up there, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, or in the next month, I should say. My friend, my contact there that was with me during Hurricane Helene, Nanda, lost her mother this past week and is dealing with obviously a lot of things, including family coming and other engagements that take her away from what she's been doing up there, which has been a lot of volunteering. But the reason I wanted to go is she contacted me recently and said, hey, there is a group that is doing relief work there in Western North Carolina that I think you would be great to hook you up with, because you would like to do some of the things they would like to do, maybe as far as helping. But also my video spoke to some people, and the situation up there is still not great in Western North Carolina, where they're still recovering from Hurricane Helene. So if we can not only lend a hand and do some good there while I visit, and spread the word as well, then that would be great, not just for those people, but for me personally. I don't think I felt better in recent memory than the time I was helping people during that crisis, and I would like to, you know, selfishly get a little more experience with that, but seriously understand it better and understand what the people that are doing that type of work do, what they think, what's their process, what's their approach to it, and how do they execute those things. If I could learn a little bit more about that, maybe I could contribute more, because I'm willing to lend a hand, but I don't have that much knowledge or experience in it. So I would love to be more useful in my life to others, because nothing has ever made me feel that that sense of purpose and the experience that you're doing something that will be change the lives of other people, that you'll be doing something that others will appreciate, or that they actually need in that manner. So it is a selfish thing, but also I've been to lots of different various schools over the years, and I always want to learn from the people that do their thing best, and I enjoyed lending a hand, but if I could learn from those that actually do great work, that do the work on a larger scale, I should say, that's what I would, you know, most hope to gain personally from it. And obviously I'd be very happy to spend my hours, you know, working all day long to do something good and go to sleep with that great feeling that you have of, you know, you made some small change to somebody's life, or hopefully a few people's lives. So unfortunately that's all on hold just for the moment, but I'm out here playing with some new equipment, some new toys, and I'm just preparing for the trip as much as I can, and also taking a moment to step back and say, all right, this is where we are. Let's take a breath, reorganize our thoughts, our intentions, and take what comes next with a full heart and full head and full energy, because you feel reconnected. And rather than sit around at home and not do anything, I thought that I'd at least play with some of these toys that I have now, and the equipment and some of the things that I haven't done. I've bought so many things and been gifted some things, and I want to use them in a practice scenario, so that when I get to Western North Carolina, whether it's my survival gear or it's my technical filming gear, like microphones and mounts for cameras and things, it's good for me to get out and use them in a small trip locally where the stakes are low, so that when I get up there I don't miss some opportunity, or I don't film something in a less than adequate way and lose part of the story. So hopefully this little small trip locally here in Florida will give me the time to make the mistakes that you have to make to learn, because experience is the best teacher. So if I can experience some mistakes and learn a little bit while I'm here, that's what I'm gonna do. And then when I get up there, hopefully I'm focused and prepared for giving the best effort that I can for the people that deserve to have their story told. And I want to definitely get better at the video production end of it, and the storytelling I think will come naturally if I've got the technical aspects of it down. So playing with the toys, the new camera mounts, the new microphones and things like that is a big part of being prepared for that, just as much as camping prepares you for a disaster, because you're ready to survive in suboptimal conditions with less than the normal gear that you would have. So I think it's a 2 or 3 part endeavor that I am hoping to accomplish when I go there. So hopefully this small little camping couple days will be a good preparation for what I get to do next, which will be obviously much more important, I hope. Okay, so I've been debating about this tarp situation, and I bought this tarp specifically because it has several loops on what is meant to be the top side. You can flip it over and use it as the bottom side if you want to hang stuff underneath, which I've done lighting wise. But I really have never tried, and I want to try, tying something to it and then pulling it up by a rope over a tree branch or something, and raising the center without having to put a pole in the center, which sounds like the best way to use a tarp and make it kind of accessible from all areas underneath. So just looking for the best way to hang it. And I don't need a lot of height. I just need to get, well, I can detach one of the corners and loop some rope. I've got cordage in my tackle box here. I've got many pieces of rope that came with the tarp. 6 cords, I believe it came with, and 6 stakes, which may be the ones I'm using, I'm not sure. But if I can loop a piece of rope over one of the branches that elevate that in the center, I don't have to worry about really tying the center too tight, or the taut line across where my hammock will be. I don't have to worry about tightening that up too much if I just pull the center up, which I've always planned on doing, but I haven't tried yet. So okay, so I'm sure I have a million things that I could be using, this being one of them. It's a bunch of stakes and some hardware. I can probably get it over a branch that would pull that up. I'm just gonna take this corner down so I can get closer. I'll figure it out. Do have enough. Got this guy over a branch. Not my ideal place. But somewhere that will allow me to pull up the center. And once restaking the backside, we can figure out how tight I need to pull it. We'll take it from there. Looks like it's peeking in the middle to me. Beautiful. Okay. That was harder than it should have been, but I made it. The line that goes from the top around a branch, around the tree, was able to make it just long enough to loop into the corner. That, once again, the two tree ends can stay put. We've got a peak in the middle, and we can lower the pole ends, you know, as the evening progresses and the sun goes down and it's not so hot, then we won't have to worry about that. And we can hang the hammock at normal level under here. Bring the sides of this, the corners of the diamond down on this hammock, and we'll be good. I hope. I think. So, one of the questions becomes, how do we string up the lights? Got plenty of twist ties and carabiners and the like, and I've got notches all around the outside. Because we use the top strap on the center there, I don't have the loops down the center that I could have used by using the tarp upside down, essentially the way it's meant to be used. But I don't know if it goes all the way around, but I kind of have to leave this heavy part somewhere, which has the battery and the winding part, which is awesome. But this guy helps wind it up. But yeah, there's controls, and it does syncing to the music. Not that I'm going to play music out here. I'm going to enjoy nature. Maybe it'll link to the crickets or something, but I think I'll just clip it around the front being the side towards where the car and the fire ring and the picnic table are, and we'll see how far it stretches. But I don't plan on having any. Obviously we can't have a fire tonight because there's a fire ban, and I don't plan on hanging any lanterns out, so I will maybe rely on this just in case I have to get up in the middle of the night. I always have a headlamp, but this will be nice for the evening part before I actually go to bed, to just be able to navigate the area with a little low light. So I love using the carabiners for their convenience, but for the weight, twist ties are really the way to go for something like hanging these lights, because for my time and money, threading it through all of the loops works great, but then you have to pull it down every time you want to recharge this thing, which is an easy USB-C recharge port, but then I have to either bring the power to it or thread it back through every night, because if I'm using it all night, I think I have to charge it probably every day or so. But if I'm using it for a few hours, it'll probably be fine for the 3 nights, because I don't plan on being up late or anything. But I do want to have the ability to pull it up and down, because I'm not going to have the light of a fire because of the fire ban. So I thought this would be the best way to go about it for this trip, and we'll see. I think it'll be fine. I love that people are bringing their families out and enjoying the nature, but when you see things like the tag for Disney Pooh characters that somebody ripped off. Not sure what green thing this was, but I assume it might have been the back to somebody's sticker. Fun activity kit. Plastic, silverware, foil. All of this I'm finding just in the walk between the 10 meter maybe, trek over to where I'm going to hang the hammock and the car. And if I'm finding this much, I can't imagine how much I'd find if I were to start wandering around. And I appreciate that people want to enjoy the outdoors with their families, but a lot of times the family tools and accoutrements end up being the garbage that's left behind. So if I could stress nothing else, clean up, make a last pass, a second last pass after you're ready and you're packed to go. Just take another moment to walk the grounds. You've probably left something behind. I do it, and I usually find something I've left behind, so I make 2 or 3 passes now. Alright, I'm off my soapbox. Let's enjoy ourselves. Bugs are starting to creep. Did a little spray of the off. But we're going to get into our favorite citronella incense. Put a couple of these out. See if they keep the few bugs off of us. Might be time to cook some dinner, and then after that I think we'll put the hammock up. This is the entrance road to the camp, the equestrian area, so pretty smooth. Some potholes, no big deal. I imagine the trailers will just get a couple bumps, but they'd be fine. So I'm just stopped here, not far from the campground, just waiting for the GPS to load on Gaia GPS. Looks like a good app that has most of this mapped, but noticeably cooler as soon as you get over here where the dense foliage is, where the trees are really packed in, and the temperature dropped 5 degrees immediately. And I'm not far from where the campgrounds are there. This looks like a former access road. I don't know if it's actively being used, but obviously there's a trail there that is not meant to be wandered by us. It's probably for the forestry or wildlife folks, but we're going to look at what's going on the map and find a route that we can just take a couple mile hike, and then we'll come back to where we are camping and probably get some dinner going. So we have to go all the way back to basically the entrance, and I'd rather just do that in the morning because there's really no other offshoots, and I just had the guided GPS up, and whoop, let me zoom back out. So between where we are up there, the campground actual space, and the trails, we have to go all the way back to here. So by the time I get out there and back, I feel like the sun's gonna set. Might not be the best time to do it tonight. It's already 6:47, so maybe it'd be better to cook a little dinner before the sun gets too low and get our hammock up. We still haven't set up our bed for the night, which I'm kind of looking forward to. It'll be my first time putting a mattress in there. I thought about putting my Thermarest foam-filled mattress in the hammock, but I really want to try just the lightweight inflatable in case I take that on a through hike. I think that would be better, especially in this temperature. It's only getting down to 72. I think that the best idea would be try out the most minimal gear. I've got all of the additional gear. I've got 2 tents with me. I've got a second sleeping pad if I need that. I've got a foam pad underneath that if I need it, and multiple blankets and sleeping bags. But I'm going to go quilt, only the air-filled sleeping pad, and try that in the hammock tonight. And hopefully it feels good, because I would love to just be packing that to do a through hike if I have to do one this summer. And if I can do one in the fall, then I might have a little more gear with me, but it's all about testing it out. And that's the excitement. All right, might be time to start hanging up our hammock. Could probably start the grill up, start boiling some water for whatever we're making for dinner. Ramen, mac and cheese. It's not going to be anything complicated, I'll tell you that. But anyway, we're gonna get that going, and by the time we get back here, there'll be a hammock up. So I think it's time to move on to phase 3. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful critter day. You gotta get your veggies and your cheese. Can't complain. The breeze is finally coming in. Feels nice. We've got multiple birds tweeting and quacking. Just looking at the watch, it's 7. Wondering if I should cook or just make a wrap. It's so hot still. 87, so. That looks good, right? We can bring down the corners if we need to. Well, with the lack of precipitation, might be better to get a nice breeze underneath the tarp and leave the poles up. We'll see how the weather plays out. But that looks comfy. I'm gonna have to light another one of these sticks, which work well, and I've got over 100 left, so that's fine. But yeah, I think we're settled down for the night. We've got the hammock set up, my air mattress, the light one, the uninsulated, not the thermarest. I'm going with that tonight because I wanted to not contain my heat. I'm hoping that with the hammock open and up like that, that I will get a nice breeze across. I've got a light quilt in there if I need it, but just a sheet under me, and I can pull that on top. And I'm going to try out the hammock for the first time. I've never spent the entire night. I've taken naps in it for sure, and I love that. But I think that we'll go with that for the night and be very happy. Got the drone up. Had a good time going up and down trying to catch the sunset, and hopefully that footage comes out good. But I think we're just going to do like a wrap for dinner, and that'll be that, because I don't know if I want to start generating heat and starting a grill up and all that. So I'd rather just chill and finally appreciate the fact that the heat is not so oppressive right now, and turn on my fan and relax with that. Eat something cold instead of hot. So we'll get hot breakfast. So until then, I'm going to relax, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay. I don't think this hammock thing gives me enough range of flopping. I don't know if it's going to be for me. I've been up and down 4 times already, so. We'll see. Okay, so we are pulling 130 so watts, recharging the battery with the 2 solar panels. Got 200 watts of solar. Usually I top out around 155. I've seen 150 today, so it's just 12:30, so we're doing okay. Grabbing some juice. We got plenty of hours of sunlight to get more. In that interest of sunshine, I had to block this side off just so if the tent, well, the tent, it's become the hammock I've slept in, is now my tent for the next 2 nights. Hammock sleeping doesn't work for me long term, like more than an hour or so. I learned that the hard way, and I'm glad I know it. But now I've got the hammock and tarp set up that I would do with hiking trekking poles. So I've definitely used that before, and I love that, and it sleeps much better that way. I took a nap this morning, and I believe that the rain will be blowing in. The sky that I've got open is in that direction, so this afternoon at 2 or 3 we're supposed to get a shower. So I hung up the tarp for 2 reasons. One, to block the sun earlier when it was just radiating down and I'm trying to get some shade and chill out. But 2, if the wind blows in from that side when the rain comes at 2 or 3, we'll be protected, and I won't have to take this, giant setup down, the whole 4 pounds that it is or whatever. So I'm happy that I can just leave it. And if I want to take a nap this afternoon, I can. I don't have to relocate or reinforce anything or switch to the tent with the rain fly and the tarp or whatever. I've got plenty of space, and I don't expect it to get too wet, but if it does start pouring, I'll have a dry area and I won't have to worry about taking down the sleeping apparatus. That's where we're at. Maybe it's time to make some lunch. Time for a cool towel. Oh, that's cool. 38 degrees cool. Oh, that feels good. Oh, that's nice. A little wet rag does not hurt on a hot day. Combine that with a little fan, you're doing business. So let's check in on our battery. Speaking of, all right, we're back up to 55%, pulling 127 watts or so. Can't complain. Only putting out a few because I'm charging some batteries right now, 6 watts out. The refrigerator's not on, but at most it pulls 45, 50. So the 128 input will be good if we get anywhere in that range for the next few hours. I've got at least another hour and a half of sunshine, I think, before the rain's supposed to roll in, so we should be all right. And then we can put the solar panels back out afterwards if we need to. All right. Sun's getting high. These guys probably need a little adjustment. But so far, we're getting plenty of juice. We're up to 62%. Still getting 70, 80 watts. Nice. When that cloud's not overhead, but probably shouldn't pinch my cables up there. Looks like our rain's not coming for a bit, if at all. So Maybe we'll get the grill out and cook something. We're going back to an old fave, Jetty Mac. Get our protein, get our mac and cheese on, we'll be happy. Yay. Tailgate. How is the tailgate still open? Why? We did this already. Yeah, start beeping at me. Alright. Wow. The heat is oppressive out there. Whew. I mean, it says still only 94 out, but I don't know what the real feel is. Can I get enough internet to figure that out? We'll find out. But it's a sauna outside. We've switched from solar to charging the battery off of the alternator because I can get 100 watts and get this guy the battery up for the night and hopefully, you know, have plenty of juice to get through the evening. I think that the refrigerator will be drawing a lot of power tonight, so we'll see. It will be fine. I just don't want it to get down to 0 or something. But anyway, it is crazy hot out, and I didn't mind napping out there. I don't mind being out there, but if I need my things to work, I do have to figure out a way to do so, and sometimes that means turning on the car. Right? Why do you not do that? Alright, the love bugs are getting insane. They are swarming on
the little area that I've camped, and I'm going to hope that these keep them away. Yeah, 98 is a little warm. Time to get some air conditioning. Oh, so none of it ever works the way we want it to. Well, that was refreshing. Didn't even realize this has a thermometer on it. So yeah, I was getting 50 degrees Celsius, 122 Fahrenheit water. I mean, it felt hot, but that was a nice hot shower, despite kind of wanting a cold shower. But it's a shower in nature. Can't complain. Oh, even in this heat, that hot shower felt good. Just to clean up, felt nice. But as far as sleeping apparatus go, this hammock, although I will never use it to sleep in as a hammock overnight, I will definitely use it as a through camping tent, or sleeping device. So yeah, that and this little air mattress, air sleeping pad. I think that was $13 or something on Temu. Well, before tariffs and stuff started. So that thing works very well. I'm very happy sleeping on that, and I have my closed cell foam pad underneath the hammock. So between the two of them, I'm good to go sleeping wise. And a little pillow and just a sheet is what I've been using for the last couple nights, because it's way too hot for any blanket or sleeping bag. So I think if I were to through hike, I will do the tarp, the netted hammock, and the very lightweight air mattress, air pad. And then I might even cut down the CCF, the closed cell foam pad that I have underneath the thing. I could probably do with about half that, just to keep the parts of the tent off the hammock off the ground. But yeah, I can string up these things with just trekking poles when there's no tree available. So yeah, I think that's the plan when we go hike in the fall, or before. We'll see. Still getting plenty of juice. I think the battery will be fine all night. We're almost 80%. Can't complain. It's one beautiful thing about having bountiful sunshine. Yeah, we're pulling over 100 watts, so can't complain about that. Can't complain about the heat. I mean, the refrigerator is pulled 50 plus watts just to keep itself at whatever, 38, 37 degrees. But that's good. All of the camping apparatus are working as planned. Cannot complain. And we're even getting a little bit of a breeze, which is nice. Oh man, it's got to be 10 degrees cooler out here in the shade. Oh, that feels nice. That breeze. Can't complain about that. Alright, let's keep exploring. It's soft. Not extremely soft, kind of a leathery. Pretty cool. Takes me back to Ohio. There was moss everywhere when we went in the woods. Yeah, we've got a handful of patches. Yeah, it must be some moisture in the ground that is allowing that to grow. It's cool. It's kind of speckled throughout this whole wooded area. Definitely not what I expected in Southwest Florida, but that's cool. Man, there's definitely a lot of dry sticks and kindling out here. I can understand why there's a fire ban, because everything looks like it's ready to go up in flames if you were to put a match to it. Thankfully, nobody is breaking the rules. I haven't seen or smelled any fires over the few days I've been here. It is hot and dry, even though it feels humid and moist. Oh. Definitely need some cooling off. Thanks for the cool towels, Mom. Oh. I think my camera overheated. Probably didn't catch half that hike. Yeah, it wasn't that exciting anyway. Almost 5. It's still really hot out. I think we'll cook, but yeah, I'm not excited to do it. Nice. I was gonna say do the do, but I guess do the burp first. I'm not used to all the carbonation. But man, this takes me back. That's not enough. Chilling on my hammock all day. Man, it's a hot one, as Rob Thomas says. Oh, great. Every warning possible. Adaptive cruise, VSA, ACC, collision mitigation, TPMS. It's all. Hill start assist. I don't know how we did it, but we killed this thing. Hopefully we make it home. Okay, moment of truth. And no errors. No errors. We made it. Okay, so on the final night of the trip, we killed our battery. Must have left something on.
But we were lucky enough to get a friendly neighbor to jump the car that left everything in warning mode and gave me every single failure and warning light about all the systems being offline. But the car ran and got us home. Recharged the battery enough that started right up now. We will definitely be getting a jump battery for the future and never have to deal with that again. And for the time being, I think we're in the clear. This thing started right up. First try, worked like a charm. And we're going to get this thing unpacked and get a real shower. And otherwise, a great success. Had a fun time and got a couple new things tried out, and we're very happy. So don't love waking up to a dead battery in the morning and trying to go home, but at least we had someone nearby, very friendly guy, and we made the quick trip home. So no harm, no foul. Lesson learned. We'll definitely have a battery jumper for the next endeavor, but it's time to get this thing unpacked and me cleaned up. Thanks for coming along.